Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another video. Now, I am a little bit behind on videos once again, and pardon the unkempt look I got going on here, but such is life of a father. I am running on fumes half the time. But in this video, I want to talk about The Last of Us Season 2. As we know, it is currently filming, is due out sometime next year. But here recently, they announced the episode count for the season, and with some other news, possibly leading into additional seasons, up to 4. And I think that's pretty crazy. This is coming from Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin, the creators, the producers of the show. So I want to talk about that. This is from an article from Deadline.com, but I want to kind of pull that article up, talk about The Last of Us, talk about the excitement building up around it, and what they're planning to do with this second season into a third and a possible fourth. Well, we all know that the second game is it's being cut up into a couple different seasons at least, and there's a lot of talk of deviating from the game, what they could change, certain characters' involvement, but we know they're going to have a lot of the characters from the game also in the show. They have announced this months back with the casting and everything. But I have an article from Deadline where we have Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann talk about specifically the episode count, which is going to be 7 versus the 9 that we got for the first season. But they're also talking about additional possible seasons down the road. And so I kind of wanted to just talk about that and give a quote from the article from Neil and Craig saying that we don't think that we're going to be able to tell the story even within 2 seasons, because we're taking our time getting down interesting pathways, which we did a little bit in season 1 too, Mazin said. We feel like it's almost assuredly going to be the case that as long as people keep watching and we want to keep making more television, season 3 will be significantly larger, and indeed story may require a season 4, which I just thought was interesting as all hell, because if you played the first 2 games, yes, the second game is a little bit larger. There's definitely a more controversial story involved in that game. I myself have only ever played the second game a couple of times. With the first one, I've done it multiple times. But getting into the second game, it leaves you wondering, how much story are they wanting to put in this? How much story will they change? How much story will they add? Are they going to change the fate of certain characters? Which would be interesting, but then again, if they did make that major change that maybe is possible, but I don't think it will happen, it would definitely take away from the story. It would change it in a way that it wouldn't make sense for the story that they're trying to tell with the second game. So I'm hoping they don't do too many crazy things, but with the possibility of a 4th season, you just have to wonder, are they going to even come up with new story? Are they going to get away from the games, or how long will the process be to put out these next seasons? And along with that too, Naughty Dog, the studio that is behind The Last of Us and Uncharted and other various games, they're talking about making more games, but we don't know if it's going to be another Last of Us. Are we going to get a Last of Us Part 3? And even if we do, how long down the road will that be? We just don't know yet. There's always rumors circulating out there that we could be getting a 3rd game, but we don't know what the game would really revolve around. Because, yes, there is some open-endedness to the second game, but there's also very much the desire to see a prequel revolving around Joel and Tommy in the early days of the apocalypse, what they had to survive, the people that they associated with, and just everything about that part of the story. And as much as I would like to see at least story go on, I don't know if that's really in the cards right now. And even if so, I mean, it's already been 4 years since The Last of Us Part 2 came out. It came out in the height of the pandemic. It got delayed a couple times before that. So we don't really know if a 3rd game's even going to happen. And even if it is, how many more years are we going to wait for it? I, for one, am not going to stand around waiting for it. I'll be excited if I hear that it's going to come out, but I'm certainly not going to do like I did with the second game and just be constantly waiting, looking for information. Because, yes, the second game was good, but it did disappoint me on some aspects, and in some ways kind of ruin it for me, but not so much that you just have these people that are hating on the game, hating on the characters, hating on the actresses and actors of the game, which I thought was ridiculous. They're not getting the fact that these are fictional characters, but you always have your crazies out there with certain things. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about The Last of Us Season 2 and the possibility of other seasons down the road, and the episode count for season 2, which is going to be shorter, unfortunately, but I think they have to do that in order to cut it up to put it into multiple seasons, because they don't want to tell that story over one season, because it is a big story. There's a lot of consequence and a lot of just anything and everything for that story, so I can understand they want to divvy it up to at least a couple seasons. If we get a fourth, that would be amazing. And to see if they would come up with an original story that would completely be away from the Last of Us video game world, that would be amazing too, and just exciting on what they would come up with. But anyways, just a quick little video I want to do about The Last of Us. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, of course, subscribe to the channel, help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers, and I'd really appreciate it. So until next time, guys, take care, bye.